9. The Book of Eternal Night. Canto 1. Towards the Black Void. Page 573. New stanza. All in her mated with that mighty hour, as if the last remnant had been slain by death of the humanity that once was hers, assuming a spiritual wide control, making life's sea a mirror of heaven's sky. The young divinity in her earthly limbs, filled with celestial strength, her mortal part over was the haunted pain, the rending fear. Her grief had passed away, her mind was still, her heart beat quietly with a sovereign force. There came a freedom from the heartstrings' clutch. Now all her acts sprang from a Godhead's calm. Calmly she laid upon the forest soil the dead who still reposed upon her breast, and bore to turn away from the dead form. So now she rose to meet the dreadful God. That mightier spirit turned its mastering gaze on life and things, inheritor of a work left to it unfinished from her halting past, when yet the mind, a passionate learner, toiled, and ill-shaped instruments were crudely moved. Transcended now was the poor human rule. A sovereign power was there, a godlike will. A moment yet she lingered motionless and looked down on the dead man at her feet. Then, like a tree recovering from a wind, she raised her noble head, fronting her gaze. Something stood there, unearthly, somber, grand, a limitless denial of all being, that wore the terror and wonder of a shape. In its appealing eyes, the tenebrous form bore the deep pity of destroying gods. A sorrowful irony curved the dreadful lips that speak the word of doom. Eternal night, in the dire beauty of an immortal face, pitying, arose, receiving all that lives forever into its fathomless heart, refuge of creatures from their anguish and world pain. His shape was nothingness made real, his limbs were monuments of transience, and beneath brows of unwearying calm, large godlike lids, silent, beheld the writhing serpent lie. Unmoved, that timeless, wide, unchanging gaze had seen the unprofitable cycles pass, survived the passing of unnumbered stars, and sheltered still the same immutable arms. The two opposed each other with their eyes, women and universal God, around her, piling the void unbearable loneliness upon her mighty uncompanioned soul. Many inhuman solitudes came close. Vacant eternities, forbidding hope, laid upon her their huge and lifeless look, and to her ears, silencing earthly sounds, a sad and formidable voice arose, which seemed the whole adverse worlds unclasped. It cried, "Thy passionate influence, and relax, O slave of nature, changing tool of changeless law, who vainly writest rebellion to my yoke. thy elemental grasp, weep and forget. Entomb thy passion in its living grave. Leave now the once loved spirit's abandoned robe. Pass lonely back to thy vain life on earth. It ceased, she moved not, and it spoke again, lowering its mighty key to human chords, yet a dread cry behind the uttered sounds, echoing all sadness and immortal scorn, moaned like a hunger of far wandering waves. Wilt thou forever keep thy passionate hold, thyself a creature doomed like him to pass? Denying his soul death's calm and silent rest, relax thy grasp, this body is earth's and thine. His spirit now belongs to a greater power. Women, thy husband suffers. Savitri drew back her heart's force that clasped his body still, where from her lap renounced on the smooth grass softly it lay, as often before in sleep, when from their couch she rose in the white dawn, called by her daily task. Now too, as if called, she rose and stood gathered in lonely strength, like one who drops his mantle for a race and waits the signal, motionlessly swift. She knew not to what course her spirit above, on the crypt summit of her secret form, like one left sentinel on a mountain crest, a fiery-footed splendor, puissant wing, watched flaming silent with her voiceless soul, like a still sail upon a windless sea. White, passionless it rode, an anchored might, waiting what far-reached impulse should arise out of the eternal depths and cast its surge.